working very hard on trying to bring back some of the lost tradition at our high school, Berkeley High School right now. We've been going through some tough times, and Gene Ransom, myself, Shooty Babbitt, and a lot of other people here tonight trying to roll our sleeves up and kind of dig in and help the programs out at the high school to restore the rich tradition that once was when we were there. A lot of you know that when we were coming up at Berkeley High, it was rocking and rolling, and now they're kind of down. So we're trying. That's basically what we're trying to do, is really help out the sports program, and do some good work in the community. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for tonight, Mr. Shooty Babbitt.
Nothing is stronger than family, and this is beautiful right here. It's good to see Miss Chenier here, because before she left to go and live with Phil, she came down to me. My family has an auto repair shop, and she came to me with her Honda, and she said, "Hey, Shooty, I'm about to go back to Washington to live with Phil, and I want you to check my car out, and I don't want nothing to happen to it on the way." I've heard people say, "Hey, wasn't nothing wrong with my brakes until you tuned my car up." That type of thing. And Miss Chenier had a Honda, one of the most reliable cars on the road. I couldn't find nothing, So she wanted me to do a few things, and word got back to me that Miss Chenier made it to Washington. You don't know how happy I was. It's good to see you, Miss Chenier. There was one guy out front. He might have been friends of some of the older people. I was about 10 years old. He was about 18. We both weighed about 130 pounds. And the kind of guy, take your baseball cards, take your bottles that you were going to turn in for a deposit. Treated me kind of bad. Took my winners on the basketball court. I hadn't seen him for about 15 years. So I saw him outside trying to get a ticket. He bought a ticket. He looked at me. Now I'm, still 6 years younger, but I'm 200 pounds and he's still 130. I took his ticket, slapped him, and told him to go home. I remember a long time ago. I was a toddler, I remember Phil killing TOC, Cal, in the pros. Phil made his mark. An athlete has made his mark when you're in the park and you see guys emulating Earl the Pearl, Walt Frazier, then Phil Chenier. I think I had a better shot than Phil, but I don't know. But anyway, we tried to gather a group tonight, guys that played an integral part in Phil's life and his career. And they have some things that they want to say. Some might be nice, some may not. But we'll let you be the judge of that. So at this time, I would like to introduce a person that's been a friend of Phil since he was a teenager. He helped Phil out a little bit, and Phil means a lot to this guy, Weldon Rucker.
It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and I would like to acknowledge the hard work that Doug and Shooty and Gene and them have been doing with respect to this program. I think they really carried on the tradition and the spirit of Berkeley High, and they're real serious about acknowledging people and bringing recognition to people. And I think this particular period was a tremendously great period in Berkeley High, and it's really a tragedy when you go over there and they've lost half of the trophies, and they don't have any of the memorabilia that many of you have earned. And I just think bringing back this recognition is a very important step, and a lot of applause should go to these young men. And especially Doug. Especially Doug, that guy, he's so tenacious. Some people, it's hard for for me to have meetings with, but he always finds a way to get through the security and everybody else. I'm going to have to hire JJ back to kind of keep him out. Finally, Phil went on he was getting ready to go to college, and it was like John Wooden had his uniform waiting for him, number 31, his seat, and car, his Rolls Royce, apartment, everything waiting. Phil said, "No, I'm just stay home, be with the Cal folks. I'm gonna hook up with Truett since he will be. We're gonna get with Floyd, Jackson Ritual, and all them. We're gonna kill UCLA." And so he went on up to Cal, and I was working over at Malcolm X School, and he used to visit Carl Shelton and this young lady that he wound up marrying. And he had this old Corvair, this old Corvair with a convertible. And I would know every time when Phil was in the neighborhood, he had one light, he'd turn the corner on Ellis Street, and you know where he was headed, right to the fiance's house. So I said, "Man, what? I mean, UCLA, they had all the cars and money and stuff, so I'm going to talk to this Coach Patrick." So I was taking a couple of classes up at Cal. I ran into Patrick. I said, "How you going to treat the Berkeley kids like this? You give them old raggedy Corvair, UCLA, they got all them cars and stuff." So he said, "Look, the chief of police told us now, if you recruit this guy, you got to give him a jalopy, because those Cheniers are known to tear up cars. The whole family destroy cars. I don't even know how they got here tonight." I know everybody remember the time when I guess they mentioned Walt Frazier. And how Phil is, compared to him. They used to have some great battles, and I even have a picture of him at home when Phil was blocking Walt's stuff. But I remember this one Sunday. Walt Frazier is known for stealing that ball, and he stole the ball from Phil. And Phil, when their nose he got mad. Went chasing the man down the court and hit him all upside the head on national TV. I said, "It's time for me to retire." See you later.
When it came time for me to choose a university to attend, and I knew that Phil had intentions of perhaps going to Cal, I was very much interested. In fact, I was really influenced to go to Cal as a result of Phil, because I knew he was an excellent player, and I had been quite impressed with him when I saw him play the very first time. He flashy brilliance, and he seemed to have such a facility about everything, do it so easy. So I said, "Yeah, this would be a good brother to play with," but I was wrong. Because once we got to Cal, I found out that he had no intentions of passing me the ball. In fact, our freshman year, the revelation came to me, because our dear coach, Earl Robinson, instituted a play called the Power Play. And all he had to do was raise his hand, and everybody had to clear out. The Lord raising his hand over the Red Sea, Moses rather. Everybody cleared out, and Phil could do whatever he wanted to do. Of course, without our participation. And that's what he did. He called that play a lot. So I recognized that power meant the one who has the ball. I have to say that. And by the time I was a sophomore, it went from power play to he was waving me down the court. I'd come down and say, "Phil, Phil, Phil." So emphatically, sometimes it's comforting to get the ball when you really want it. You feel like you can make that one, and you feel like, go down to the post. So I said, okay. But anyway, I managed to forgive him, and we had an excellent time together. By my junior year, he found out that, I'd be much happier if he passed to me once in a while. He kind of felt like I pouted, you know, and so forth, and I did kind of express my dissatisfaction. And he had a habit of goading me, you know. He knew just how to take me off, and to the point where I'd be almost ready, I'd be fuming, ready to jump on him, you know, but he knew I wouldn't jump on him. I think he really knew that. But I just like to say that of all the people I know, and there are a few people that I cherish. In fact, most of the dearest brothers that I cherish and enjoy as friends and human beings are here tonight. I can say that. And Phil is one of them. And I'm not ashamed to say I love him as a brother, I love him as a person. And he has really added to my life, just knowing him and being able to share life with him along the way. We had some very lighthearted times, some frivolous moments, some silly moments, but it was a joy for me. And I'm just here to say that he's an individual who has impressed me not only with his basketball ability, but with the fact that over the years, he's remained always as congenial and always as loyal and just a straight up person as he was the very first time I met him. And I appreciate that.
First of all, I'd like to thank Doug and Shooty for seating me over here on this side. I want to sit over here with the people with hair. But then we're roasting Phil. I figured if I didn't sit there, it must have been Phil sit there. Okay. I had my little Mustang, and I first went and got Phil, and then we went to West Oakland and got Nate, and then we had to go to San Francisco and get Ainsley, and we all fitted into my little Mustang. And so I was, you know, I had the gas money, and I paid the toll to get over there and everything. And then as the years grew, and I saw Nate sign this big contract, you know, and then I saw Phil making all this money playing on TV, and Ainsley playing down in this Texas Ainsley. I mean, everybody got paid except me. I couldn't even get gas fare, you know. And Nate will be quick to mention that it was talent that caused him to get paid. Okay, Nate. And they're still looking for you down at Santa Clara University, Nate, because Nate is quick. Remember Nate threw that mattress out the window? Remember that? I don't remember that. And it's a tremendous tribute, not only to you, Phil, but to the other gentlemen here who have meant so much to Bay Area basketball.
Well, when I first got the call to come and say some nice things about Phil, I was having a bad day. I was at home and I was just kind of sitting around and kind of relaxing. And the phone rang and it was Johnny Burks. Johnny Burks says, "Nate, how are you doing?" I said, "I'm not doing too good today." He said, "How would you like to roast Phil Chenier?" I said, "Wonderful." I said, "I've been waiting for this for a long time." Phil and I go back to high school, just like everybody have said. We were kind of known as two of the better basketball players in the Bay Area. I remember after I got through playing football, I joined the basketball team and we were going to play Berkeley High. Phil had the big reputation of scoring a lot of points. But I said, we'll beat those guys. We're going to play them in our gym. We might scare them to death. But that game, Phil and Berkeley High won out. So Phil, I'd like to say to you on behalf of the students at McClymonds, my teammates, and myself, now our relationship goes on. They win their league and they're in the TOC. We win our league and we're in the TOC. And after our second game, I think we played you guys in the semifinals. And all the McClymonds players was ready for that game. I said, well, first we got to stop Phil Chenier. They said, well, how do we stop him? I said, well,
just play hard, we'll beat them. Well, I guess the effort wasn't there because we lost. So Phil, on behalf of the climbers, my teammates, and myself, it continues on. Phil now get drafted by the Baltimore Bullets. Nate Williams is drafted by the Cincinnati Royals. The Baltimore Bullets at the time had Wes Unseld, Elvin Hayes, Archie Clark. Well, the Cincinnati Royals had Toby Kimball, John Block, Tom Van Arsdale, Sam Lacey, and one great player named Nate Tiny Archibald. And all the time that we played the Baltimore Bullets, I think we won 5 games, if that. So Phil, on behalf of my players, my teammates, and my Climbers High School, and me.
And Phil, they asked me to come and say some things about you, but I told them that I really couldn't roast you. But there's a couple of things I would like to say. Not much, but just a few things. First part of it is that you were talking, I think, Johnny, about, and some of the rest of you, about Phil deciding to go to UCLA. I think, Ainsley, you said some things about the Rolls Royce and the cars in the apartment and the ladies down there too, right? But one of the things that happened is one of the parties that he went to, they tied up money in some coins and threw the money into the swimming pool. And all you had to do was dive in and get the money. But of course, Phil couldn't swim. And so that made him a little hesitant about going to UCLA. He didn't know what else he had to do. The other thing I want to thank you for, Phil, is the fact that you got me fired from the University of California. We were down at Stanford playing their freshman team. And we were behind at halftime. So Phil walks into the, now Stanford had just built this new gym. He walks into the gym, everybody, he's the last one. I said, come on, Phil, let's go. He walks in, and he's so, you know how competitive he is, you know, and like you said, his nose is flaring all over the place. He punches a hole into the wall. You remember that too, don't you, right? So when we get back to the University of California, the athletic director calls me in, and he goes through this thing with me. He says, Robinson, and he's looking kind of down, you know, like, you have to learn how to control your players better. I looked at him, I said, what do you mean? He said, there was a hole in the wall down there that Phil Chenier made. I said, how do you know that Phil made it? They told me that he made it. I said, well, okay, so he did it. He said, well, you have to control. I said, I do control my players. He said, well, I am going to take care of this myself. I am going to do this. I said, let me tell you something. I said, you mess with this young man, and JJ knows about it, because JJ was going to have to come get me. And I said, let me tell you something. He's expressing himself. He's an artist. He is creative and he's imaginative. And I said, if you even talk to this young person and go beyond me, I said, I will be creative and imaginative on your ass. So you know, the next year I was fired. I just want you to know, you never knew that, Phil, but that's very important.
Thank you very much, Earl. At this time, I would just like to extend a special thanks to Doug Harris and his staff. There's been comments about the efforts that have been made by Doug and myself. I would like you to give Doug a round of applause because Doug has worked diligently. I'm sure one day we'll get a chance to roast this gentleman. I will, because he don't know that I still remember the day on the bus that he tried to play the dozens with me, and I made him look so bad in front of all the players. But I was a sophomore. I was the only sophomore on a team of seniors you know, and they already didn't like it because I can outplay most of them anyway. And a lot of them was sitting down, they couldn't play because he's shooting battery. Okay. So I made him look kind of bad, and then all of a sudden I saw these big old fists come running at me. Well, now I'm a little bigger than him. He was bigger than me then, but I'm bigger than him now, but I still would never test him because I have the utmost respect for this gentleman, legend of all time. It's maybe the only player that I ever seen where I went to a basketball game, and every time he got the ball in his hand and he was on his way to the hoop, the whole audience stood up. My man, Gene Ransom.
I'm not here to roast you. I'm here to say thank you. You started a torch. Earl Robinson, I don't remember him. This is no disrespect. This is no disrespect. No disrespect at all. But I really don't appreciate them roasting you, because to me you were God when I was a little kid. I'm here to tell a story. When I first heard your name, I knew the Chenier family from Little League, playing against David and playing against your father's team. I always wanted to play for Cycling Troy. I thought they was the best team in the East Bay as far as Little League was concerned. And I even asked your father once, could he trade for me? And I played for Thousand Oaks Hardware, and it wasn't a very good team at all. Like I said, I really appreciate people here roasting you. I'm very surprised. I'm going to roast some of the panel. Mr. Truitt, you guys are my heroes, don't get me wrong. Because of Phil, I met you guys when I was younger and idolized you guys and respect you guys. But this is the most I ever heard you say. I remember we used to play 3-on-3. The team would be Dave, Phil, myself, is Weldon, and Mr. Truitt, and Carl Shelton. And you just would not never say nothing. You just would not never say nothing. And I'm a young kid just idolizing you, waiting for you to just say hi. Phil, I'm just going to tell you a story when I first heard your name, like I mentioned a moment ago. I lived in West Berkeley, and like I said, I knew the family. I knew your mother and your father and Dave and Steve. It was a young lady that went to school with you. It was my next door neighbor. And she came home very, very, very excited. I mean, she's just excited. And the reason why she was excited, Berkeley High was going to play on television, and they was playing Richmond High against Harry Brown. And I guess, I remember the game was at Richmond Auditorium. I put the 2 and 2 together. I said, well, that must be David's older brother. And I was looking for a basketball hero. And like I said, I heard your name by this next door neighbor who's all excited. Phil's going to kick Harry Brown's behind. Phil's going to do this. Phil is going to do that. So I said, I tell you what, I would like to watch him play. And I didn't know what I was watching. You was on cable back then, UHF, channel 20 or something. My mother and I, we sat there and watched the game. And I don't remember anything other than just hearing your name. Like as we say, you know, you did shoot the ball quite a bit. But don't get me wrong, I want to be like you. And I tried. And I heard your names after that. I listened for it. And it was guys in the neighborhood that attended high school with you. And I remember down at Columbus Elementary School in the playground, they was running full court. And they would call out 3 players. like a 3-man fast break. And this is how it would start. Doug Kagawa bring the ball up court, pass it to Carl Shelton. Chenier, bucket. That's all they did all day long. Doug Kagawa dribble the ball up, pass it to Carl Shelton, pass it to Chenier, shoots it. And I said, I want to be Phil Chenier. Because it seemed like the guy that was shooting the ball was more excited than the other two. So right then and there, I thought you was a very important person. I mean, you had to be somebody for people in my neighborhood, West Berkeley, looked up to you. And so I followed you, I studied you. And Dave Chenier could be a testament to what I'm saying. Your family accepted me as part of their family. And when I used to come over for dinner, I was always the last one to the table to be blessed. And the reason why, I would be in your old bedroom, just looking at your scrapbook, studying. And by the way, Mama Chenier, I have to tell you, I did do something that wasn't right. My mother didn't raise me this way. I used to ask David, you know, when's Phil coming home? When's Phil coming home? Actually, you had your own apartment up there by campus, and David used to say, well, he might stop on in, he might stop on in. So I used to just sit there and wait for you. So what happened, I asked David, you think Phil would mind if I take one of these posted one-leg kick jump shots? David said, well, I don't know, you need to ask Phil. But I got tired of waiting for you to come home. So Mama Chenier, I must admit, I still a photo of Phil Chenier. A photo of Phil Chenier with his perfect jump shot. And I try to emulate that jump shot, Phil, all the way to Cal. The reason why I was a pretty decent basketball player is because I studied you, and you gave me the opportunity to see people like Jackie Ridgel. What I learned from Jackie Ridgel by sitting there studying, that you had to talk trash while you play. I figured it would be pretty good because I was only 5'8"3/4. The more trash I talk, the better I probably can make this guy relax and have a good game against him. Because of you, I had the pleasure to see Charlie Johnson. My father used to take me to see the Globetrotters, but all that trickery stuff I knew was fake. For some reason, I knew it was fake. I remember Charlie Johnson on a fast break once. He was dribbling the ball, leading the fast break, and dribbled behind his back. And I remember him going between his legs. After the game, I would go home and try that until I mastered it. Because of you, Phil, I tried to emulate a little bit of Aisley Truitt, but like I said, he was too quiet. And I guess he had a reason. You know, he was 6'10", and he didn't have to say too much, just let his ability just take over the game. Because of you, Phil, I tried to carry that torch. I remember that David and I and Ronald Pelly and a couple of my little friends our age used to come to the training room and just sit back and watch you guys go through therapy, have your ankles taken before games. And our parents raised us well. We knew that when we were out in public, we had to carry ourselves a certain way. And this story here is, I remember we were sitting down one game. Well, it happened many times, but I was fed up with it one time. It was a certain time, Bob Orr, you guys remember Bob Orr? He would always kick us out. And I couldn't understand it. We were sitting there just being quietly and just admiring you and your teammates. So one day I told Bob, I said, David, you Phil's little brother, man. Tell me you're Phil's little brother so we can stay in here and watch him. And Dave said, well, you know, that's just the way it is. So So when it happened the very next time, I told Bob, I said, one day, you're going to take my ankles. One day. I was always, because as you feel, I was always late for practice. I was always late for team meetings. The coach used to ask me, Gene, why are you late? I said, Bob didn't take me. He said, well, there's 5 or 6 other trainers in there. No, Bob is going to take me. So one day, Bob Orr asked me, he said, Gene, because he was getting a lot of flack from the athletic director and the coach, why Gene is always late. He asked me, he said, Gene, why you don't let nobody else take your ankles? And I explained the story to him. I said, man, when I was a little kid, I used to come up here and just starglaze during the Phil Chenier, Aisley, True Jack, and really Charlie Johnson time. And me and my friends and I, we would just sit down and on a bench in the corner and just watch. But it would be other kids running around there causing all the confusion, but they stayed. And I said, I promised myself one day that you was going to take my ankles. You're going to take my ankles as long as I'm here. Come back 2 weeks later, he said, Gene, you know what? I think I remember a little black kid telling me this. And I'm not saying that to be funny as far as race or anything, because Berkeley people are not prejudiced at all. We wasn't raised to be prejudiced. But because of you, Phil, my game was a reflection of you. I would like to take this opportunity to say thanks, man. Because sometimes people wait too late to say thanks. After somebody passed, and will say, I wish I would have said thank you. Thank you, Doug, for giving me this opportunity to tell the man that I respect and cherish, and the family that I love. Thank you, Mama Chenier, for accepting me, for feeding me, for guiding me, keeping me out of trouble. I couldn't keep Dave out of trouble because, you know, that was just the way it was. I will take some of the blame. You know, I used to throw rocks at the window and say, Dave, if everybody's asleep, let's go. So Dave got the behind whooping and I got the enjoyment of having fun with Dave. Dave knows I love him. Dave knows I did not befriend him to get close to you, but there's a possibility that as we got older, Dave knows that he's right there with me. The whole family, Steve, Lisa, especially Mama Chenier, and especially Mr. Chenier. It's like I said, I always want to play for Cycling Tour. And I'm just here to say thanks, man. Thank you.